All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Epic News. This is our inaugural show, if you will, and
The late night episode.
the late night episode. Yes, we are about 10:30 California time, and to my left is Sean Allen, and to my right is our special featured guest, rap artist Hennessy. We will dive into him, his career, and we are going to talk a lot of stuff, music. And speaking of music, I want to thank my daughter. She was on vacation this past week. She brought me home a mixed tape. Now, how many of you, A, still have these, and B, even know what they are? So it's dated. It's actually a mixtape that someone made for somebody. And it is dated April 20th, 1986.
Yeah, I found a box of those in the garage about a week ago, and I was like, "Oh,
I'm sure
the old school, hip hop."
And it is Barry Manilow. And I know some people might laugh, but I'll tell you what, my daughter and I have been to two concerts together. One of them is Trans-Siberian Orchestra, which we've gone to about three of them. But our last concert together was Barry Manilow, and she really enjoyed the music. And I used to live in Vegas, and I used to perform in Vegas, and I have seen Barry, and I've talked to Barry many times and many shows. And laugh if you want, but it was a cool show.
What do you do? You performed in Vegas?
I did, yeah.
What were you doing?
I was you can't tell anymore, but I used to be an Elvis impersonator. Yeah.
Awesome.
I started out actually on in Citrus Heights off of San Juan, which turns into. I started at Fireside Lanes.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Oh wow! Yeah.
With a gentleman by the name of Ron Friel, and so it just was a fluke, and then it just kind of blossomed from there. And I've sang in Vegas, all over. I've sang at on top of the Gold Nugget on New Year's Eve. From thousands of people. I've seen sang at cruise ships.
That's awesome.
And it's pretty cool, man.
Good money?
Yeah, it was. It was really good money. Really good money. And one last thing, I want to promote myself here. My book, 1,000 Miles from Nowhere. You could get it on Amazon.com. It is actually a biography of my life, and I've gone through a lot of things. I was good, bad, and the ugly in that. And anyway, read it, check it out. Anyway, it's not about me. It's about our guest this evening, Hennessy. First off, Hennessy, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And thank you. Now, what are you guys drinking here?
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, it's kind of a dumb question.
It's late night.
They don't call me that for nothing.
Yeah, hey.
So we got Hennessy drinking Hennessy. And Sean Allen drinking Hennessy, and I want to give a shout out to Silver Oak out of Silver Oak wine glasses that I got at their wine festival there. Awesome glasses. So anyway, Hennessy, why don't you tell us? Let's kind of jump back in time here, and first off, you want to just go by Hennessy, or you want to tell people that don't know who you are your name, or do you just want to keep Hennessy going?
I mean, it don't matter. I'm not ashamed of my government name. I'm Jeffrey Harris is my government name, senior. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Hennessy, Henny, Hen, any variation of it works for me.
He's got a few names.
All right, so let's jump back and high school. If my research and memory serves me correctly, is where you kind of jumped into the music scene realm on a more serious level, if you will. So tell us how you kind of opened that door to the music world and kind of stepped through it and got your music career started.
Well, it definitely wasn't serious in high school. It was fun. You know what I'm saying? It's introduced by my cousin, Alize, ironically is his name.
Alize, all right.
By the way, he's in Texas.
Oh.
And that leads you to what?
Well, you know what? I do this on my sports show all the time, but you know what? Down with the horns, right here, Boomer Sooner. So where in Texas does he live?
Dallas.
Oh, Dallas. Yeah. Okay. Well, hopefully he's not a Horns fan. So
I wouldn't know.
Yeah. So he got you started.
He definitely, pretty much introduced me to it, and you know, he was visiting from Texas and came down, pretty much showed me, and then I got into it with some of my friends from high school, and I mean, it started off with like taking little instrumentals and kind of recording to like the little tape recorder.
Right.
Back in the day, you know what I'm saying? And so we made songs like that, and I mean, like I said, it was just something fun to do. We enjoyed hearing ourselves.
Do you remember the first compilation that you put together and what it was called?
On tape?
Yeah.
It wasn't necessarily like a name to it. We was just making songs, and it wasn't even really like jamming. It was jamming us, you know what I'm saying? But it wasn't that wasn't the goal. Like I said, we was having fun, so it was just recording as much as we could. And I wish I still had that tape to this day, but I
Somebody has it. Somebody has it. All right.
And they jamming that shit.
So, okay, you made the tape, and what was the next step after that? And you know, a lot of times when people do stuff, they just kind of, a lot of artists, if you will, and I'll just use music artists, they will just kind of do stuff just to kind of, you know, mess around a little bit. And then a lot of things that I like to do, especially in the music world, is I like to know the backstory to songs and how they were formulated and what were you thinking at the time and what were you doing. So what was your first song that kind of took off? Whether it was amongst friends, whether someone heard about it and said, hey man, you got something there.
Okay, so fast forward a little bit from high school. I moved to Texas with my cousin Alizé.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Nothing against you, Alizé. Just Texas is just not my thing.
I like Texas. Texas was, man.
I could do that for like maybe 2 weeks or something.
I stayed for a year.
All right, well, that's not too bad.
It was cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm still a Cali boy, so I definitely had to get back.
I will say though, if you were in the Dallas area, that is actually a cool part of Texas.
What part of Texas is not a cool part?
Oh wow, we could talk about small towns like Hyco, Texas.
Or where is it? El Paso I passed through, and
that is the armpit of
I was trying to get out
the United States, you know, much less Texas.
Yeah, I wasn't really a huge fan, but you know, Dallas was nice. You know what I'm saying? And Fort Worth, Dallas-Fort Worth.
What year were you there?
I was like 2000.
All right.
I just
so
graduated.
They still had in 2000. They still had the Planet Hollywood there, I believe, in Deep Ellum, and I used to go there all the time. When I lived in Oklahoma, I used to make that drive just to have their margarita pizza, and then I used to drink a drink called the Zombie. They had little specialty drinks there, and of course but Dallas was a cool place. I mean, they have a lot of cool places there. Really do.
Yeah, the like promethazine had just came in when I had stayed down there, so that's pretty much what they was drinking in the club. I was not really a fan. Wasn't a fan. I don't like moving in.
Now,
slow
do you
motion
have
like
any
that.
other cousins or friends that maybe their name is like Hypnotic or anything?
It's only the two of us. Nobody else in the family really do it. It's just,
So I like. Well, anyway, over here in Facebook, I can't see who you are because you're far away. But you know what? Maybe I'll look at it on here. But hey, welcome. And well, we don't have anyone here yet, so. But okay, so in Dallas, so what was the
first song that really blew up?
First song, yeah.
So my cousin, you know, was working on his first album pretty much, and we put together this song called Texas Boys. And even though I wasn't a Texas boy, you know, and neither was he. He was born in California. He just happened to move out there. But it was something for, you know, to gain some attention. I mean, of course, we ain't gonna gain a whole lot of attention. You know, talk about Cali boys in the middle of Texas. Ain't nobody gonna play that.
Right.
So we did the Texas Boys track. He just happened to know somebody who works at the radio station, and we got it in rotation. And yeah, that was probably, you know, the first just recognition that I really got, major kind of recognition. And yeah, it did good. You know.
All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and ask this now. So what? Hook that up to where we can see who's on there. What was the inspiration of the name Hennessy? where did that get born?
Okay. So, believe it or not, it wasn't the drink.
Okay.
It was, so Alizé, you know, being his name was what it was, he was trying to give me something that kind of tied into, you know, his, so we could be kind of a team, you know, almost without, but still solo artists, but, you know, work as a team. So, you know, he came up with Alizé, and so we listened to a lot of Tupac.
Okay.
And Tupac's, I mean, that's one of the main, you know, drinks that he speaks on a lot, you know, plus, you know, with Alizé being Alizé and he's a light-skinned dude, you know, Hennessy was kind of like the opposite of that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
A deeper shade.
Dark skin, you know,
Right.
a little bit
Much
stronger.
more.
My cousin didn't really drink that much, so he would be drinking shit like Alizé, you know, when I would drink, you know, harder alcohol. So I mean, it just kind of fit together, you know, and it grew on me. And of course, once you know, it came with that idea, I was like, well, I really need to tap in and see what Hennessy like. I had it before, you know, but I started drinking it more. I was like, yeah, you know, it definitely fit.
All right. So, speaking of Tupac, have you ever seen him perform live?
No, that would be awesome. But
Yeah.
no, and I wouldn't want to go see the hologram thing that they got out now that they are trying to push off as him. I think that's cool, but I'm not a fan. I'd rather.
Yeah, you know, I was actually, speaking of Vegas, I was actually in Vegas that night.
Damn.
I was coming out of the MGM Graham after the match, and I honestly thought they were filming a movie. I really did. And everybody, well, not everybody, but a lot of people, and especially people I was with, they thought they were filming a movie too. So when that was going down, I was just like, wow, man. Wow, but no, I really like that cat. I mean, he's now, of course, Sean and I, we talk a lot of conspiracy theories on sports and whatnot, but I'm a conspiracy theorist in life in general. I sometimes think that is he dead? Is he not? Is he alive? Is it all kind of, you know, because there are some people who, there are stranger things that have happened.
As Arsenio Hall used to say, the things that make you go,
Right.
you know.
No.
Because he's releasing more music now than he did when he was
Yeah.
But they also say that you're the most loved when you're gone. So I mean, and with his work ethic being what it was, I don't consider it far-fetched for him to have a ton of music in his archive.
Well, he knew his time was limited.
Right.
And they said when he passed, he had 300 songs unreleased.
Well, it's kind of like Prince. I mean, Prince, even 20 years ago, he goes, I have enough music to put out an album for the next 20 years.
Why not,
you know?
though? Like,
Exactly.
I would want to do that. You know, if you're in a position to where you got access to, you know, high quality studios and good production, why not stack up and not just put everything out you have music.
Right.
You know, that'll live forever.
And they talked about the bodyguard of Tupac talked about, you know, slashing through the streets of L.A. and he stopped in front of a store, run inside, get a stack of notebooks, and then to the studio. And he'd just be writing. And he just all night long.
Yeah.
It's recording.
Now there was it was a whole lot of, you know, like different hidden things, like different things that add up to the number 7 and stuff like that. Like when he first passed, you know,
Right.
And they was saying that it was a good possibility that he could be alive. I don't necessarily believe that anymore, but I do believe that you know, a lot of major figures are falling off because of, you know, some stuff that's going on behind the scenes that we don't necessarily know about. For speaking their mind, you know, he was a political dude, you know. So
Oh yeah.
I definitely think that it was set up and not by the people who they think did it.
Right. And I know this has nothing to do with music, and I will just briefly talk about it. Because the reason why I'm talking about it is because ESPN did a 30 for 30 thing on the O.J. Simpson
Yeah.
thing. And I told people, I said, you know what? I personally don't think he did it. Now, did he know about it? I pretty much guarantee that he did. I mean, that right there, if you look at everything that's put together, that's a classic mob hit. It's a classic mob hit. And usually when you slice someone's neck and you almost cut their head off, there is a lot of blood. And there's one spot of blood on his car. And so it's just something that, anyway, that's another conspiracy theory, but that's for another. So anyway, back to you. Sorry about that. We got off on a rabbit trail there. But so the Hennessy. So how well was that received by initially by people?
I mean, it wasn't like mind blowing,
Right.
but in the South, music is a whole lot, as long as it has like a nice groove to it, like people kind of get into it. I mean, I thought it was cool, As I look back now and look at maybe the quality of it is not. I mean, you got to start somewhere, and I felt like it was my starting point. I think it was a good introduction.
Right.
But that's what I take it for. Definitely the stuff I'm doing now is much better than that.
All right. So when you write lyrics, where do you pull that content from?
I mean, mostly experience,
Mm-hmm.
but it could be anywhere. And motivation is everywhere. You look around. I mean, definitely. I mean, my family has a big part to do with it, But I don't know. I think of stuff while I'm driving. I think a lot comes while I'm driving. I'll put on a beat and just zone,
Right.
And it can come from anywhere, anything.
That's good. Sean, are you needing a little bit of more nighttime juice?
Nighttime, these all.
Nighttime.
Well, I wasn't going to say nothing till break, but since you asked, hey, let's pass it across.
All right. So, some of your, have you been at all, and some of these questions may be redundant, but I'm asking them for our viewers. Your lyrics, and when you look at CD covers and whatnot, they got that little box there that says parental advisory and everything. Now, sometimes, just like movies, just because a movie is rated R doesn't necessarily, because I know a lot, and I'm not bashing Christians at all, but or people in religion, but when they say, well, I don't go to rated R movies, they're all bad. I'm like, oh, hey, what'd you think of Passion of the Christ? Oh, man, I said, that's rated R. But a lot of times, just because something says parental advisory on an album doesn't necessarily mean because you're dropping a lot of F-bombs or, you're talking. There are just some content that has that. But with your lyrics, I mean, have you been criticized at all for the types of lyrics that might be in, well, not might be, I guess they are in your music?
Not really. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's a good medium because I'm definitely not a sailor. I believe there are more creative ways to express yourself than cussing throughout the whole record.
Right.
But at the same time, there are certain records that need that emphasis. I feel like you need to do that in order to get your full point across. It's the intensity of the situation that you were part of, and it needs to be emphasized. So, could you let your 9-10-year-old listen to my whole record? Maybe not, because there might be a couple songs on there that are a little,
all right, so
explicit. But
let me, and I have a question that just came to mind. I'm gonna put here in left field, and I'm gonna ask you this question first because I'm gonna kind of segue into a few things. Now, what do you think of? First off, I mean, it came out last year. And did you go see the movie Straight Outta Compton?
I sure did.
Okay. Now, what was your honest opinion?
I thought it was awesome.
Okay, Sean, did you see it?
Yes, I did.
And what did you think of it?
I thought it was awesome. I did think that they missed some things.
Right.
I did.
There's a game just put out, a Streets of Compton movie, and I guess it's supposed to kind of tap into a little bit more. And I also believe that they might have left some stuff out just because of, you can't put everything out there.
Well, right. I think they left some, I don't know, pertinent to the story. I think they left some things out of there. I think they did it, though, possibly because it would have stirred up
Well, too,
old wounds.
Yeah, on their defense on that aspect, I will say when I wrote this book, I had some people in my life say, yeah, I'd probably leave that out. Or you definitely want to leave that out. So, but they could leave some things out because maybe someone said it could be incriminating, or maybe it could, like you said, open up some doors that you don't want to open up. But here's my question: they have the song, and and it was a huge. Now I actually, that was kind of my era, if you will. So I got to see them in their early days and live in concert. So when they wrote that song about the police, and you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. The police obviously didn't like that.
No, of course not.
But I will say this. LAPD has been known since its inception. If you even watch the history on the LAPD from its inception has been known to be very rough on ethnic.
Oh yeah.
Excessive.
Excessive. Very excessive.
I mean, I remember I talked to a gentleman one time. You guys might know who he is. His name's Miles Davis. And Miles Davis used to drive a Ferrari. And he got pulled over, and they thought he stole the car because he's black. And well, anyway, when they found out who he was and everything, and they were still, had attitude about it. But I think when they got tired of being harassed by police and everything, and so that was their message to the world, if you will. Now, I say all that to ask you this. They were more punch in your face kind of with that song. And when it's explicit, F the police,
And you got to think about the time it came out, too.
Exactly. And so do you have any of your music that you have an in-your-face kind of message? And also, do you have subliminal messages hidden within your lyrics that you're trying to say?
I mean, it's more in your face. There's more. I more paint a picture for you and help you understand where I'm coming from every angle. I mean, there's not a whole lot of subliminals. You might listen a second time and hear something you didn't hear the first time. Right. But I mean, in comparison, though, I mean, they were revolutionaries. I mean, people who might look at it, this gangster music.
Yeah,
but
first to do it.
They were really, I mean, it happens. I mean, it's not far fetched. Just like you said, LA police have that history, and I mean, it's not just LA. I mean, I've been racially stereotyped, plenty of times by the police. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't happen every time I get pulled over, but it exists. And so the fact that they took that and put it on a big platform for people who have been through that to relate to, I think.
You were raised in the Bay Area, right?
Definitely.
Yes. Yeah. So
no, it's. I mean,
I grew up. I grew up in Daly City. You grew up in San Jose.
Well, I will say this I've told some people, and actually, yesterday. Today's Monday, right?
Yes. I'd asked myself that earlier today.
Yesterday, I don't know if Sean told you this, but yesterday, and when I told somebody this, they freaked out because they were like, "I can't believe you're supporting them." Well, yesterday, I couldn't meet with several people because they're like, "Well, I can't. I'm covering something." They go, "What are you covering?" I said, "I'm covering the KKK rally." And they're like, "I can't believe you're supporting them." I said, "I am here as media covering it." Because when we had that meeting Saturday, I said, I'm going because I want to know, first off, I've never been to one. Second off, I wanted to go because, they have their little icon, which is Hitler and everything, and I wanted to ask them certain things, and then I wanted to ask them this question. You do know that Hitler's mother was Jewish, and this and that, because I wanted to ask them. And I wish I could do this, but I can't because I got to cut myself, and then I got to cut a black person or a Mexican or whatever, because I want to take a white sheet of paper or whatever, and I want to cut myself open and cut them open and see if we actually both bleed red, which I know we do. And I want to ask them, and I did ask a few, why do you hate? When in your life did you begin to hate this because of this color? First it was the blacks, and then it kind of probably in the 60s, 70s, and it was the Hispanics, and then, the Orientals and all that, and then Native Americans, and I'm like, well, I said, I'm Native American. I said, I'm the original person here in the United States, and you guys are immigrants. But you know what? They really could not give me an intelligible answer on why they hated the other race. They couldn't.
So you think that cutting different people open would help them see that more?
No, I'm a metaphorical.
Okay.
I'm a metaphorical person, and I kind of go to extremes sometimes because sometimes you have to give people a visual because I obviously I'm not going to do it, but it is just something that I just want to show them. Look, man, we are all, if we peeled our skins off, we're all the same. You can't tell what color we are, and why do you? And I said, when did you learn this? Because it's learned. Racism is learned. I've been over to Afghanistan. It's like we talked about Saturday. I've been to Afghanistan. I've been to Iraq. I've been all this. I've seen 10-year-old kids with AK-47s and hand grenades around them, and they hate Americans because they're taught that.
They're programmed at a young age.
Yeah.
And you see.
And it's the same thing with the younger kids that have parents that are in the KKK, or they teach that.
You see memes all the time where you have like a little black kid and a little white kid, and they're hanging out, or they're shaking hands or something. They say racism is taught, and I mean, once it's like programmed inside them, like it's not really, it's a way of life. They probably couldn't even give you a solid answer as to
why they're doing it, right?
Because they've been doing it for so long that they're just like, it's all I know.
They didn't. And I'll say this. I grew up in West Sacramento. I grew up in L.A. to a certain point. I'm from L.A., and then I moved to, it's called Broderick. But every time I say Broderick, people are like, I don't know what that is. I'm like, West Sacramento. Well, in my neighborhood, there was, at the corner, there was a white family, then an Indian, as in East Indian, and then my house, and then next to me, Hispanic. Next to them, still remember the guy's name, Mark Watts. Black family, and then across the street there was another black family, Hispanic. So I grew up in a diverse neighborhood. I didn't know what racism was going to school, and again, I apologize. I get off on these little freaking rabbit trails, but because rap music, and I'm not saying all rap music, but a lot of rap music has a racial tension. I mean, the black community, as far as artists, and I'm saying this because I've asked the question. In their music, I ask them, because I mean, when I write and I'm doing my things, I write what I think, and same with music and everything. They're pissed off, and they're wanting to send a message to people saying, look, man, we are human too, we are people too, and we're not going to freaking put up with it. And that's where sometimes, they're dropping the F-bombs, they're doing this and that, because I tell people, I said, when it comes to music, and I said, they're not doing that just to be vulgar. I said, they're doing that because they're trying to send a message, and they are tired of being put in a little box over here. And I don't know. Now, what is your thoughts?
I don't agree with you.
Okay.
No.
Tell me why.
Sometimes that's just, some people are just like,
Yeah, that's why I said not all. I prefaced that.
I don't see profanity as a way to spread a message. If some people are just, that's their lifestyle, you know what I'm saying, whether it be from a gang background, or just just some internal rage that they got going on. Like, profanity sometimes helps you express yourself, like I said, in certain situations.
Right.
I don't think race has anything to do with it, because there's white rappers that use the same kind of profane language, or even it's coming out in R&B now.
Right.
I agree with that. Maybe I should have prefaced a little bit deeper. But no, I don't. Right, it's not a race thing.
A race thing. I mean, you think about it's the time that artist is coming up in. I mean, if you look at Sibo, Sacramento, well-known Sacramento rapper. I mean, he was coming up in a time, but he was from the gang. He was in a gang, correct?
That's his background.
That was his background. That's his background. That's where he was coming from. It wasn't necessarily. Yes, he had problem with the cops. He didn't.
Right.
He didn't have cops, but it was cops. Period. It wasn't white, black, or indifferent. It was cops.
And his music reflected his lifestyle.
Right.
It wasn't. There was no sending this message to white people or people of any other race. It was just, this is the life I lead. Either you can accept it or you cannot. And I'm going to say what I want to say, and
right.
Even the police couldn't stop that.
All right. So let's go back in time again. And when did you how old were you when you got your first break?
Define break.
Where you got paid for rapping. Because once you get paid, by definition, that's when you become a professional, by definition. You're break?
It would definitely have to be a show that we did in Texas during the time that I was out there. So it'd probably be like 2000, 2001.
Do you remember where it was?
No,
No.
I don't.
Too much Hennessy at the time?
No, not at all. I didn't even drink like that. Oh, no, I tried.
Yeah.
I've been a drinker, but no, it ain't gonna do with it. But it's just that it's happened, and I've definitely gotten paid, quite frequently since then. So it's something that I just didn't pinpoint, I guess.
Okay, if there was one message that is the apex of the message that you want to say in your music, what would that be?
Enjoy every aspect of your life. It would be, there's not, life can be taken away from you at any given moment. Cherish, have a good time, cherish the people that are close to you, and enjoy yourself. Life is too short to be down. If you're in a bad situation, get out of it and enjoy yourself. Life is meant to be enjoyed. That's
Okay.
my message is.
So, where now? If you had, all right. Well, let me ask you this. Now, when you first started out, did you have, some people, you call it what you want, but did you have like a 5-year plan, a 10-year plan, or whatever? Say, you know what? I want to do this with my music. I want to be at this point in my career in 5 years. In 10 years, I want to be this in my career. Did you have that, or did you just say, you know what? I'm just going for it. Whatever happens, happens.
It wasn't a whatever happens. I definitely had like certain goals I wanted to meet and achieve and stuff like that. But honestly, the 5 and 10-year plan, it got thrown out there. But it's definitely different stuff that's gone on that's possibly affected what was originally my 5-year, 10-year plan.
Okay.
So I don't know that I had one that I stuck to, I would say.
All right. So, what has been your best memory, or your best memory since you got started in the music business?
Wow.
He probably has a group of them. Little carry-on luggage.
Yeah, it's goodness.
A handful.
It's hard to pinpoint. Definitely one was performing at the state fair and doing a song I had written for my son with him on stage and
Nice.
performing to him. That's definitely one of the standouts. It's a lot, man. I've had some real good memories.
All right. So, has there been any? Well, let me ask you this: have you written something that maybe someone else stole, maybe some partial lyrics or maybe partial beats or anything like that? That hey man, that was mine. Have you seen that out there? Because there's a lot of things in the music business that people kind of grab a little bit of this, might tweak it. The one of the cases right now is with Stairway to Heaven. The guy was, saying that, he wrote certain aspects of that and they stole it from him, this and that. But
That's Eric Clapton.
No.
No, who's that?
Oh,
That's Led Zeppelin.
Led Zeppelin.
Okay.
Yeah.
My bad. I feel like it has happened. Definitely between, certain members. We, dabble and borrow lines from each other here and there just to, flip it and do something. But I want to say there was an experience where I heard somebody that did something similar to what I did, but
I saw your eyebrow raise when he said that. You were like, oh.
I kind of feel like I blocked it out because it was like not even worth, worrying about because they weren't really going to do anything with it anyway. But what did happen is I don't know if you've heard of Task One, but he pretty much
Yes.
he bit a whole bunch of lines from all kinds of different rappers and put them together like a jigsaw puzzle. And I did 2 songs with him, and on both of those songs, he stole lyrics.
All right, so let me ask you this. Do you think that, and again, could be a redundant question, but do you think that particular artist, there should be some backlash towards him?
Yeah. I wouldn't say like like how far of an extent to go to. I don't think that anything, you know, deadly, anything you know, that serious needs to happen to him. But I definitely think that if that's what you've made yourself known for, if everything you've pretty much put out has caused you to get the rep that you, I mean, he was, you know, he had reached a pretty high status. I feel like you should be done.
Okay.
That should be it. You should pursue a different career, because obviously you're not confident in your level of skill to put out your own stuff. And I mean, any other genre of music, you know, it's pretty much the norm to borrow lyrics. People sing songs. Other people sing all the time. But in hip hop is supposed to be you 100%. It's supposed to come from your soul. So that is something that is frowned upon, that can't even be overlooked. And nobody, I feel, that knows him personally would accept him coming back out and continuing to, you know.
That's kind of disturbing to hear that person specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask a tough question now. It's been asked before, but I'm going to ask it again. Do you think that rap music is black music and only black artists should sing it?
Hell no.
Okay.
Hell
That's good.
No.
That's good.
I mean, Eminem is one of the.
I was gonna say that's the first thing that popped in my mind.
But
I mean, and not just Eminem, but I mean, just
no,
use
not
him as
just
an example. He's one of the greatest that ever did it. White, black, brown, purple, yellow, red, green, whatever color you look at it, he's one of the best to ever, pick up.
I've heard the question asked before, and that was one of the lead-ins was first thing that comes to mind is Eminem, not the only one, but one of the greatest to do it.
Why I asked that, because when he first got started, he was shunned. He was.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you have a lot of things, and that was one of the things that they said. You know, now here I'm gonna make you laugh for a second. So we're gonna pre-Eminem, and we are going to bring up a gentleman by the name of Vanilla Ice.
I knew it.
I knew it was coming when you said that.
What do you think? Well, now he had maybe 2 songs, but what do you think of his music? Do you think maybe it was just kind of a show, if you will, to put a white guy out there with big pompadour and everything like that? And do you think it was more staged than anything else with Vanilla Ice?
I honestly couldn't say. I could see that happening. I could, but who knows? I mean, it could have been something that he was just feeling deep down and felt like he needed to put out, and I mean, no matter how you look at it, Ice Ice Baby is
it's still
all right now
forever, like. So
this is the reason why I brought that up, and this is the reason why I asked you about the lyrics, because it's going to tie into this question. Now, he was on the Arsenio Hall show in the mid 80s and late 80s actually, and now Ice Ice Baby and the Queen song Under Pressure, if you listen to those side by side, it's pretty much identical. The intro.
I don't know if I've heard the Queen.
Oh, you were right. You know what? You were right, because the intro, yes.
Now
the beat.
Yeah. The beat.
Yeah.
I think I know something.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's why I was asking about, stealing and grabbing and this and that. And
yeah, because Queens is doon.
No, well, all through hip hop, music has been stolen.
Well,
all the time.
Sampled, all that stuff. Yeah.
It's very popular. Some of the biggest hits have been made off of that, unfortunately. But I mean, sometimes it works. I don't feel like that's a whole different thing,
right?
Than stealing somebody's lyrics.
All right. So who, in with you growing up, who have been some of your inspirations in the hip hop genre growing up?
I mean, it was definitely, to start off, and it was MC Hammer,
okay,
and Heavy D.
Oh, there you go.
And the two of them, I mean, they just, they seemed like they was having a good time while they was making music.
Right.
They was dancing around, and it was, it was entertaining. I enjoyed that aspect as opposed to, all the negative. Now, granted, that's people talking stories about their life, but I could relate to that more because I didn't live that type of lifestyle.
Right.
So it was definitely them too to start it off with, just because, like I said, they were having fun when they were making music. But to transition later on down the line, I mean, Tupac, obviously. Outkast is one of my favorite groups of all time. I mean, a little bit of Biggie, but Nas is another big influence as well.
Right. So what do you think about, well, I'll tell you a little story. You know, MC Hammer, he was a brawler growing up, and he was a boxer. I mean, he was a good boxer. So that I was told the behind the scenes with the Hammer Don't Hurt Him, he would go in and find some of the biggest guys in the neighborhood and pound on them. And there was a story that someone screwed him over in the music business, and he just beat the crap out of him. And then the song came out, and so yeah, that little tidbit about MCM. So what do you think about some of the groups that I really enjoy? I mean, Heavy D obviously was really cool, but also Run DMC, they were cool, and I did like a lot of, well, it's like when I was talking to Sean, I like a lot of the early stuff, like Egyptian Lover and stuff like that.
Curtis Blow back in the day. Houdini. You know what I mean?
Houdini, those glasses, man.
Kumo D, Grandmaster Flash. A lot of that stuff I listened to, before I moved from the Bay Area. I was listening to Too Short. You know what I mean? When I got up here, there was the Beastie Boys. There was,
So what do you
when I
think
got
of
up
the
here.
Beastie Boys? They said that they were ahead of their time back in the day. I mean,
They definitely are in their own genre. I think they created their own space. You know what I mean? And then when I got up here to Sacramento, I was 15. And then here comes the Click. E40. You know what I mean? And I was listening to Tupac all along. When he came in, so I had a lot of influence along the way.
See, I wasn't. See, my mom didn't letting me listen to shit with stuff with parental advisory.
Yes.
Right on the front, so it was a lot of R&B for me. I didn't really get introduced to hip hop until my cousin introduced me to it. And I mean, I had heard of records here and there. It was the Hammer and Heavy D type stuff, but I really got. I mean, I was older. I was old enough to buy my own music. I could listen to what I wanted to. But I missed out on a lot of that early Run DMC type of era just because.
Now, Run DMC, I was going to go back to Run DMC. That was one of the first, the first in the early 80s to kind of change the scene. But going back to my parents, now I was raised up on a lot of the music that they listened to. I mean, there was Blood, Sweat, and Tears. There was a lot of different stuff. That,
Blood, Sweat, and Tears is a group?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I'm saying there's a lot of different artists that I listened to that molded. I was just talking about the hip hop-ish type music.
Can't forget Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Oh no, he's in there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
he's in the mix.
So yeah, I mean, one of the things again that I like to do is I love to dive into the music genre and where it came from and even all the way back in in rock, like the history of rock and roll, and they think of certain things. Now that actually came from a African euphemism for sex is rock and roll, and then their version of the guitar was a banjo, and then that grew up, and then you had the banjo and then the guitar, and then how that progressed, the blues and everything, and the blues and that was actually started with the field callers, they would say it, and then the people working would repeat it, and then that's the blues, and then the church aspect, that was their only piece actually, was on Sunday, and when they wouldn't do that. So today, 2016, who would you say would be maybe top 3 to 5 rap artists of today? Doesn't have to be most popular. In your mind, who in your mind are the top 3 to 5?
Goodness.
Well, that's tough.
I'm gonna go with Tech Nine. I feel like Eminem, even though he doesn't put stuff out all that often, there's really not too many that are messing with him on that level. So he's definitely in there. It's hard to say as far as like 3, 4, and 5. I mean, I don't listen to a lot of mainstream stuff anymore.
Right.
I listen to a whole lot of underground music. I'd probably say, somebody that from Sacramento that I listen to, just because I don't listen on that level. But there are a lot of good people out there still. Cassidy is another favorite of mine. Slaughterhouse is elite. The whole group of them could fit in that group.
I was gonna say it. Lately, I've been listening to a lot of Sacramento rap artists. But if you had to go mainstream artists, I mean, Ice Cube's got to be up there. Cube, I mean, he doesn't put stuff out as much as he used to, but 40's got to be up there. There's a mix of people that you could put up there. I mean, in top 5, are you talking top 5 ever?
No, just what you think right now.
Oh, top 5 or top 5 right now?
But I rock with
right
Cube.
now?
I rock with Cube and I rock with 42. But when I listen for something a little bit more.
Right.
Then it's a lyrical thing.
And honestly, if you put top 5 right now, you can even put those two up there because 40's out there.
No, they're
40's out there.
They're both mogul pioneers in my
eyes.
Oh
yeah.
Both of them. Like I got utmost respect for them.
Definitely.
But as for when I listen to music and I'm listening, I mean it's lyrical content and ability to, do what they do in a lyrical way. So they wouldn't go in that category for me.
Now, a lot of times, because I also am a filmmaker, so I do and in writing and all that. So I look at things a little bit differently. Sometimes not sometimes, all the time. A lot of people that watch movies hate watching movies with me because I'll talk about it a lot. I might pick it apart. I might do this and that. And
during the movie?
During the movie. Well, not in a theater, but here. I might. It's like I told you I might put it on pause. I'm like, look, that person just got stabbed. The knife is out, and there's no blood on the knife. No. Or I would.
he's like, I can't watch a movie with you.
I don't do it all the time. I usually do it when I'm just chilling with my daughter or someone that I know. I won't do it like if we're all watching a movie. But do you do that? And when you listen to other people's music, do you like, okay, that lyric maybe, or that beat doesn't really, or that's really, whatever?
Oh, I think that's. Definitely to the person, you wouldn't really. I might give them some feedback, and after I hear it out. But I am a firm believer, and have had it done to me very many times, to where if you're trying to show somebody something, it's like just silence.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say it to them. I'm just saying to yourself. Like if you think, well, I would have done it, a little bit different, or this and that on that aspect.
Well, I mean, it's a person's interpretation too.
No,
each their own.
I agree.
I might semi say, it's something that they could have possibly done better, but I won't say that I would have done it different just because I'm not that person, and that is their story they're telling.
Right.
So.
It's their experience. It's their their life.
So, can we talk about New York?
Yeah.
Okay. So, tell us about your trip to New York and what you did and what happened.
So I auditioned online for an underground hip-hop organization called Team Backpack. They do a thing every year where they allow people to go online, download one of their beats, and audition on video, send it in, get pretty much a panel of people to judge it, and if you get selected, then you get, invited to the event wherever it happens to be. It just happened to be in New York this year, but it's been in LA for the last 2 years. And so I was selected and flew out to New York for the event. It was a 4-day event, and it was pretty much I got selected for my video audition. Now I had to go up and audition live. And there was a panel of judges, and there were 600 auditioners, and we went in there and we
wow. Yeah, 600. Wow.
There were over 2,500 videos sent in and all, because it's all over the world. Like,
right.
It doesn't matter where you're from, you
wow.
can audition for it. So yeah, judges had to sit through 600 rappers, which I'm sure could have been somewhat torturous, but
tedious.
Yeah, but
All right.
It was a good experience though. It was more than it was to go out there and try to be the best. Yeah, I definitely wanted to win, and that was the goal. But it was an opportunity for artists that are all trying to excel to be in the same building at the same time and to network with each other and get each other's contacts and maybe do shows where they're from and exchange information and work together.
Right. So now, okay. If you're in that mix and you got 600 people, we'll just say, let's just break it down to 30. Now, would you rather be first, middle, or last in that?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
No.
All right.
They picked the top 12.
Right.
They picked the top 12. And, I mean, there's 600 people.
No, what I meant was if there was 30 people and if you had to be in the line and pick wherever you performed, would you rather perform first, middle, or last? That's what I meant.
All day.
I'm comfortable anywhere.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. I'd prefer not to go at the end and be the last one to go, but I wouldn't mind. You put me there, then I'm gonna do the same thing I would do in any other position that you put me in.
Now, do you do anything in your auditions to grab someone's attention, maybe a shock factor of any sort when you're auditioning face to face?
No. I just kind of be myself. I don't have necessarily a gimmick or anything that brings people in.
Okay. So this is your 16th year in, well, longer, but 16th year if the 2000 area was your professional debut. So this is 16 years into the mix. Now, how many more years do you think that you have any as far as performing?
I mean, I ain't necessarily trying to be like 50 performing, you know, but I feel like I got a decent amount in me. I definitely don't ever see myself stopping making music. I could be 50 something in my home studio recording and making music, I mean, the goal is definitely to be heard on a worldwide level and do that with it, but I genuinely enjoy recording and performing even if there is no huge result from it. It is something that I enjoy doing and I would continue to do until I can't do it anymore, until I'm crippled.
Okay, so your son, you mentioned your son earlier. How old is he?
He is 9.
9. Yeah. All right. So what do you do to, is he an artist? I mean, does he have any aspirations of, and I know that's kind of young, but I mean, heck, Stevie Wonder was doing things at
I think he's training him to be a chef.
All right, so let's talk about that.
Well, my thing is, I don't push. I was told that I was supposed to be a doctor or a lawyer, somebody that makes this, huge wage. It was, they were trying to program it into me, and, once I got to see what that consists of, I decided that that's not something I had any kind of interest in. So the last thing I want to do is push my dreams on my child, whether it be making music, whether it be cooking, whatever it is. I'm not going to make you feel like this is something you have to
That's
do.
Good.
Let's enjoy it. If you like doing it, here, I'll show you the ropes and everything. But if I feel like it's forced and you're getting tired of it and you want to do something else and be a kid, and then do things, that you want to do, then so be it.
I think he likes cooking though.
He
like, because they've done videos on Facebook.
Yeah,
all right,
let's can see himself being a chef.
Let's dive into that.
Okay.
I'm a foodie. And,
I love that.
And I actually owned a restaurant at one point in time, and I love trying out new food. Now, when people hear foodie, they think, well, you're only eating
I don't hear
it.
that word very often.
Really I said a foodie is, some of the best places that I have found are little hole in the wall places. Like when I lived in Oklahoma and went to OU, I would just drive and I would find some just obscure places. And so
They take more pride.
They do,
in
and it's
what
fresh
they make.
ingredients.
Yeah.
And all right, so what are your? Okay, you're a chef. So what's your signature dish?
I feel like I got two. I feel like one would definitely be it's a shrimp pesto
Mm-hmm.
with broccoli, roasted red peppers, and olives. But it's like a penne,
Right.
shrimp pesto, and then steak. I can make a steak, but I can't really give you all that information because
Sure. All right. All right. So
Hey, there it is.
Let's talk steak. So in the town of Sacramento City, not town, excuse me, city of Sacramento, surrounding areas, best steak. Where?
At my house.
At your house.
I don't even know.
What cut?
I mean a medium rare.
No.
Oh no. Ribeye.
Ribeye.
Okay.
Now, do you like the ribeye because of the marbling, or because you want to get that fat factor in there?
I like the fat factor.
Fat factor.
I feel like if the steak is too lean, it's just
Ribeye's up there, but I'm partial to the tri-tip. The tri-tip, yeah.
All right. So, what do you think now? Say someone is in your restaurant, and now do you feel? Because I've been in restaurants where this has happened, and people have ordered a well done or extra well done, and the chef refuses to cook the steak well done, and that aspect, and then people that ask, they get a nice steak, even we'll just call it a fillet or a ribeye or whatever, and they say, "Do you have any ketchup?" What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, man.
When people do that.
So, my mom liked her steak well done. That's all I knew. That's how she would cook it. I feel like if there was like a temperature above well done, I feel like that's what she cooked it to sometimes. Like it would just be extra done, from baking it so long. Until I worked at a restaurant, it was called McCormick and Schmick's.
Oh yeah, yes, I've been there.
Hey.
It's Claim Jumpers now.
Yes.
But so they told me that I could have a free steak, and I knew their steaks was on point, but they said I had to have medium rare. So that was when I got introduced to it, and it was as I was eating it, they was egging me on, like, "Don't you see how much more juicy that is? Like the flavor." That's I was like, hell yeah! I haven't touched a well done steak since then.
Yeah.
But I would make it for people because if that's the way that they want their steak cooked, so be it. It's not.
So how long did you work at McCormick Smith's?
Like a year.
For last year it was open, or?
The first year it was open.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because there's a guy named Eric there was a cook there. He was the old guy with the gray beard.
I believe I know who.
Yeah. He's at Buka now.
Yeah. No. I think I know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I worked at, actually, I opened this restaurant as far as a corporate trainer, and Fleming's. And Fleming's is pretty much a mirror's Ruth Chris. And it was in Houston, Texas. And the chef there refused to cook a steak above medium. So
I can understand that. To get back to the ketchup thing on steak.
Oh, no. Come on, man.
I don't understand.
Come on, man.
I would insist that you try my steak without putting that ketchup on it.
Or anything, any steak sauce.
No, steak sauce too. And when my mom used to make well done steaks, A1 was all over because I feel like it.
If you marinate that steak the right way, you don't need nothing on that steak.
I'm telling you, I got the truth serum.
All right.
Because a tri-tip, you can eat the fat. No, come on.
Bruh,
You eat the fat.
I'm telling you don't need nothing else.
Yeah, that's one.
So I think me and Hennessy will be streaming a live feed here soon. We'll be in my house on my gas grill. We'll be doing tri-tip and ribeye next to each other, and we're gonna have him over here covering it.
And
tell yeah.
I'll do a blind taste and say which one's better.
That works for me.
Yeah. All right.
Hey.
So what as far as the all right. So what other genres or styles of music do you listen to other than hip hop that you enjoy listening
to? I mean, does R&B count? Because R&B is definitely what I started listening to before hip hop. So sometimes I won't even put no hip hop on, and I'll jam out to that.
I was gonna call it old school stuff.
I mean that too.
That's his little thing.
More, though,
Right,
you know what I'm
right.
saying? Like I enjoy the oldies too, but I enjoy somebody that can sing. You know what I'm saying? Not sing, but sang. So
Right.
I like a little reggae. I like
Okay.
I think it's soft rock. You know what I'm saying? Alternative like that. Like I'm not into them screaming the whole time that the record is on. To each their own, but I can't.
Right.
I get a headache. Listening
What
to
about Metallica?
I don't know that I've heard a whole lot of Metallica. I like Aerosmith.
Okay. Oh,
Right, yeah.
hey, there's a.
Yeah, I used to. I really enjoyed. Speaking of R&B, I really enjoyed Al Green.
Al Green is one of my all-time
Yeah,
favorites.
I really enjoyed
Luther.
Yeah, I listened to growing up. One of my favorite groups was Cool in the Gang,
Yeah.
and I know they're more
I
pop. They're
remade
more
a Cool in the Gang song.
Oh, really?
Earth,
Which
Wind,
one?
and Fire.
She's fresh.
All
Hey.
right.
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
I actually saw Cool in the Gang in Mont Bleu in Tahoe. Now, of course, James Taylor wasn't there, and that kind of upset me, but that's all right.
Yeah,
He's a cool dude, man. I loved him. But,
I like good music.
Did you like the Commodores?
Yeah.
I saw them in Vegas.
Good music has no specific genre set to it. I've heard some, drum and bass stuff, and I don't listen to a whole lot of that, but I've heard certain songs that have just been like,
Do
damn,
you like Commodores or do you like Lionel by himself?
I like them both.
Okay.
I like a little bit.
I mean, some have a preference now.
I don't feel like
I think I like both of them too.
Yeah.
I'm just like give me it all.
My wife be listening to a lot of country because she has road rage, and so
That keeps her
like
calm.
the country song helps her from not having to go off on
Hey,
somebody.
the twang
and
keeps her.
and it's not even like the real like when you think country music, there's a certain like
Right.
classic old type
Right.
of country. They do the stuff that they're doing now. Country singers think they can rap, so it's a little bit of rap incorporated here and there.
Are we talking about
Garth
Garth Brooks country? Are we talking about Tim McGraw? What are we talking about? Merrill Haggard? What?
I can't name that many country singers.
Oh, yeah.
I know who Garth Brooks and Tim McGraw is, but I can't say that I could just put on one of their CDs and just be there. But certain songs, though, I could get into.
All right. So when you're not writing, recording, or cooking or anything like that,
He's sleeping.
What do you like? What do you like to do? What do you like? I always like to get that tidbit of information. What do you like to do just to kind of your thing? Maybe it's a relaxing thing, whatever it is. Hobby.
I hang out with my son.
All right.
Any free time that
That's
I have
his everything
away
right
from
there.
Music, me and my wife hang out too, and we go out and do things, but our time is just, that's what I do when I have free time, and I don't have a whole lot of it, and if I'm not with him and I've got time to myself, then I'm making music.
All right. Now you guys are drinking Hennessy, and you're out again, man. Damn,
Well, we're
gummit.
trying, we're talking. We're having a
I
conversation.
see that you're out.
We're having a conversation, so
So,
I'm not trying to make it a big
No,
deal.
it's okay.
But I will pass my cup that
You
way.
don't drink all my Hennessy.
Well, no, you
sipping
can-
on this one glass this whole time. I don't know if you
Well,
want
then
give a little sip.
You give me a little sip. That's all.
So,
I'm
all
not
right.
like you.
Other than Hennessy, do you
He's henny hen hen.
do you enjoy other libations?
I like that.
I would prefer not to. If there's a choice in the
We
matter.
talked about tequila on the way here.
Oh,
We had a conversation.
There'll
I
be
like
none of that.
vodka myself.
None of that.
I when I first started drinking, I used to drink everything you could put in front of me. But honestly, with the name being what it is, I've pretty much become spoiled on Hennessy. I drink Budweiser. I like a little beer with my liquor. But
Okay.
there's
What
no-
about wine? What about wine?
No, sir.
No, really? Why?
No, it's nasty.
Really? I like it when
makes me
people
sick.
say that because that makes me that's a goal in mind to make. I'll find you a wine that you like. I guarantee.
No. See, now I like plum wine. There's a couple of the white wines that are kind of good, but the strong, rich red wine.
Oh yeah,
Mm-mm.
the Cabernet.
The dry ones will make you feel like
I went to Napa to a wine tasting event with my mom, and I was sick. I just want to go to sleep because I didn't want to feel like that no more. and it now could have been because I ain't never been to no tasting event before. And I was doing a little bit more than tasting.
Yeah, you was drinking. Yeah.
I thought I was supposed to drink the whole thing, so I was drinking.
Yeah, you go to Francis Ford Coppola's winery. He's got some nice fruity wines. They're pretty good.
I don't want to go to another wine. Nothing. I'll go to a Hennessy tasting
All
event.
right. So all right. So as far as cognac and whatnot, what other than if you had to now this is a high echelon of cognac. Have you ever had King Louis XIII?
I have not. I would like to, but I hear it's quite a few dollars.
It is.
And
Yes.
Definitely. The money I've had, I just could think of
Better things to do than
things that I
$150 a shot. You know.
Yeah. All right. So what? All right. Let's dive into sports for a minute. Are there any sports that you follow or enjoy?
I don't really watch a lot of TV. I enjoy watching football and basketball. I don't watch it very often because I don't really watch.
Well, you got
TV.
a San Francisco hat on, but that could be just because
I'm a Niners fan.
All right,
that's
That's for sure.
I'm a Giants fan too, Frisco Giants, but I don't really pay attention to baseball like that.
Are you a Warrior? Oh no, you're a Laker fan.
There you go.
That's where he differs at. He differs at. Yes, because him and Dirk have this wars between who's better.
I ain't hating on the Kings.
Yeah, no.
The Queens.
Yeah.
I ain't hating on them. I mean, I've been in Sacramento long enough. You know, I don't want any bad to happen to them. But when it comes to who I would rather see win, I'm gonna go with the Lakers.
All right. So, what is the next project that you're working on, or maybe a current project that you're working on that you want to talk about?
I mean, definitely the next one that'll be released will be the Cali Boys project. It's a project we got called Far West Coast. We're most of the way done with it. Got a bunch of singles and videos out right now for it. And we're looking to release that around Christmas time. It's definitely got a real West Coast feel to it. I feel like everything that we do together pretty much has that. And I definitely think it's something that will be refreshing for not only people from the West Coast, but I mean, when you listen to it, it definitely sounds like California.
All right, so can we talk about the video that's the
Connected?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So what's up with that? I
So
hear there might be a little bit of I'll let you say it.
What?
Well, was it connected? The video and everything about maybe there was a I don't want to say the wrong word here.
Well, no, Connected. I mean, it's a give back. It's a give back thing for Connected, and a bunch of different artists did songs, right? Right, and this was.
I'm trying to figure out what the is.
I don't know.
Well, I meant there was there I don't want to say not animosity in making the video, but is there maybe some frustration as far as maybe.
No, I don't think there's any.
I don't want to say it without.
I'm saying I don't think there's any frustration. They made the video. That was their song that both him and Dirk gave back to that song. I mean, as far as that goes, as far as
No, it wasn't no frustration.
there was no frustration.
All right.
That song we made a song because the clothing line pretty much took us in.
Yeah.
And stood behind us when I mean, it definitely helped get us a little bit more attention, more recognition than what we had before. And I mean, my whole closet pretty much is connected. I mean, over the years, just because I tapping into their story with what they are as an organization that pretty much houses parolees when they get out of prison.
Right.
Helps also rehabilitate former drug addicts and stuff like that. It's a positive. It's not all clothing lines you run into have like a story behind them of starting from this and really trying to help people. A lot of clothing lines are made to showcase that person or that company or whatever. There's not an ulterior meaning behind it. So I really connected with that, and definitely felt like when they were doing this project that they should have an anthem, like not just another song to throw on their project and say, hey, this is an artist that rocks with us, and here's the song that they gave us for our project, but something significant to who they were. And also a lot of the response that I've gotten from the video is like, oh wow, I didn't even know what the whole story was behind Connected. Okay, well, yeah, they have this mission statement, and it's kind of like in some somewhat complicated terms where even if you read it, you might not still necessarily know the whole story behind it. I wanted to shine as much light on that as possible. Me and Dirk, and so that was the point of making the song and putting it on.
He got a chance. I took him to meet Tommy Hall and Adam Saeed. I took him to the actual Connected location, where they're making the shirts at and stuff like that. And he got a chance to meet them firsthand, and Dan, whatnot. And and basically he explained it to them. Is that they're a program that gives you a second chance, gives parolees a second chance. And the shirt, doing the Connected shirts and the other jobs helps fund that program.
Right.
So.
Well, I got to tap in, not like the day before the video we shot it, like I actually got to go to the place where these parolees were housed and actually see and just like, I don't know, maybe when you see it firsthand, like it just kind of settles in a little bit more and then you could appreciate it. I mean, we made the song before I went over there, but and to sit and talk to them and just really just fully understand what it is that they represent and what they're doing and how much they just desire to help people. Like it's amazing.
And what I didn't realize is when Tommy has one house now.
Yeah, but
he used to have like three or four.
Yeah.
Back in 2008, I had a mutual friend of ours that actually stayed in that house, and I met Tommy back then and didn't realize it. So it was just like when I realized that like a day ago, that I was like, oh wow, what I mean? That I hadn't met Adam, but I met Tommy back then.
Yeah.
So it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right. So is there? And all my guests, no matter who you are, I always like to give them a chance to give some shout outs or anything that you want to do. Anybody, anything, whatever. Floor is yours.
Man, shout out to my pregnant wife. You know, expecting a little baby girl real soon. So
nice.
Anybody that is watching and please just say a prayer that everything goes smooth. We've had some complications in the past, so I'd like to definitely shout out to her and everything working out well. Shout out to my baby boy. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my manager. Sean Allen for definitely introducing me and giving me this opportunity. Shout out to my team, man. Everybody that's on my team, from Dirk to Saul and Snatch and Guapi and May to Mo and Travis and my people that helped me push my merch, and then just my family, moms and pops, and then all the people that support me and believe in me and not even just in this music but in life. I've got people that just really concerned about my well-being and my family as a whole. I appreciate y'all more than you know. Definitely.
Hey, well, Alizé for starting you up.
Oh,
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Hey, without him, you wouldn't be here now.
He knows. That's
yeah.
That's a lot of people that
one thing I said, that song right there that he does with you and Dirk.
On site.
Yeah, on site. If you get the feeling listening to him, you feel like you're right there with him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's a character.
No, I'm saying, but you get to meet him without meeting him.
Yeah.
And that's what I liked about it.
He's good at that. I enjoy it.
All right.
Yeah, shout out to you, man.
All right. Well, thank you very much. So, what? Now you got that stuff going on with this December and whatnot.
And I also have a solo album that I'm working on, and that'll be released the first quarter of 2017.
Oh, well, why don't you tell everybody how they could follow you on social media and how they could acquire your CDs,
Well,
your music?
the easiest way is to go to team/heem.com. That's got everything from my YouTube to my SoundCloud to Twitter, Instagram, Facebook pages, links to where you can buy my music from that site. Like everything is on my website. But I mean, Henny Hen is something popular. You can Google that, and that'll be my YouTube, my Twitter, my Instagram, my SoundCloud. Most of those are under Henny Hen. Heem is another one that you can look up for like Reverb Nation and stuff like that. But you could Google, and I pride myself in saying the fact that you can Google Hennessy and not just the alcohol will show up.
Right on.
As popular as it is.
And you will be seeing Hennessy here locally soon in the community. Hen loves the kids.
Oh,
So we will be working with some nonprofits here, giving back to them and helping kids here in the upcoming weeks. I'll have them out there. You'll see some stuff on Facebook. We're gonna do some streaming and stuff while we're out. Hennessy in the community.
I also have a show coming up July 22nd at Concerts in the Park. I'm actually doing a song with Some Fear None, well-known rock band in the city. But they're headlining, so July 22nd. Come out to see the shop.
And then you have the 27th.
27th.
Snatch and Guap.
My teammate, Not a Pain, is doing her album release at the Blue Lamp. So I'll be performing at that as well.
All right.
Come check that out.
All right. Well, I want to thank you for being on the show, and had a great time.
It's the inaugural show.
And
For the Epic News show.
Yeah, and it is. I enjoyed myself. I mean, there's so many. I mean, we could
go another. I know you're another 45 minutes.
Another hour.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, man, we'll I'd love to cover your shows live and see everything in action. And I've been trying to get out a few times, but I just hadn't been able to. I think it was during school, and I know Sean asked me a couple times, but I had school at night. But again, man, I mean,
You're more than welcome anytime you want to come.
I appreciate that.
All good.
So,
hey, this Friday, your partner in crime is VIP with DIG.
Oh, I'll be performing at that?
Yes, so he will be there this Friday at the Blue Lamp. I will be there. So
we don't have anything else to do now since.
yeah.
That kind I won't mention that.
Yeah, so
Friday is the 5th. Is that what it's called?
No,
Friday's the 1st.
Oh, okay.
It's VIP. Yeah, so so we will. I will be out there, and you're more than welcome. Me.
DIG.
Yeah. So my life intersects in 3 or 4 different ways with people like him. I do a show with him, and he's welcome to come out and cover it as a story. So
Also, anybody that's tuned in, you can also tune in to the Cali Boys Radio Show.
Yes.
Every Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m. at the360radio.com. Me and my boy Dark Dig, we do play local music. And
I definitely want to go to that, man.
He wants to come. He wants to come to the studio
down.
tomorrow night. You gonna come with me?
Oh, tomorrow's Tuesday. Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
So I have to say this because I know you haven't made your decision yet, but do you see this setup right here?
Yeah.
This is the same set he uses as a remote.
Well, no, it doesn't look like this.
No.
Bringing this to the radio?
No. This is the same setup we were doing in August.
Well, it's a minor set. I mean, I got a lot more.
Out like we were talking about doing a live remote.
No, yeah.
This is the same setup we use.
That's what's
So
But,
it wouldn't look like this with this, but
No, this is a blanket. You can't see that.
no blanket.
The camera can't see that. So. But anyway, again, thank you, and follow this cat on his social media. Support local musicians. Team-heem.com. Support local.
Make sure you put that down.
There's so many local artists that need.
Speaking of which, last question. Youth coming up. We'll say that they're coming up. They want to be up and coming artists. Rap artists, anything in the music realm. What piece of advice do you have for them?
Be yourself. Be comfortable with who you are. Don't allow anybody to make you feel any kind of way about it, because that's you and the gift that you have to give to the world that nobody else does, and work. You got to. Nobody's gonna give you anything. You have to be consistent. You have to continuously, to the point where you might be exhausted. But if you want it that bad, then it's worth all the work that you can put in to achieve it. And not just in one area. You need to be everywhere.
All in.
Yeah.
All in. All right. Well, you know what? I'm gonna apologize right now because what?
No, I was gonna say if you want to leave one last hashtag for this gentleman right here,
Yeah.
my artist, you did hashtag gas you on your own song.
Bars.
Well, I gotta turn this off myself. Our sound person is
in bed.
In bed.
Yes.
Hey, thanks for watching our
the cot over there in the corner.
Yeah. We will see you next time. Thank you.
All right, hey.